What if Deku had Jiren's powers? Part 1. So, to start it off, you guys, 249 of you guys voted, and 83% of you guys voted for what if Deku had Jiren's powers. Next week, I'm going to do another poll on what if Deku was quirkless or another what if. So, to start it off, Deku was always like the happy kid he was in canon, or like the real anime. But once he goes to the quirk doctor, he's super excited. But as soon as they get there and the doctor pulls up with an x-ray and says, "Sorry ma'am, he's not gonna get a quirk. He's quirkless." He drops his All Might action figure, and his mama grabs him roughly by the arm, thanks the doctor, and leaves to the car. Once they get there, starts driving away into a forest. Deku's looking around and he's asking, "Mom, where are we going?" And she replies, "Shut up, don't talk to me like that. I may be your birth mother, but I'm not really your mom." As she just opens the door and like grabs him and just throws him out into the woods. Deku's like crying now as he's just looking on at his mom. Like, why? She's like, "Shut up, you useless quirkless Deku," as she walks back and drives away. Deku's full on crying now, and he just keeps repeating, "Why? Why?" And then he realized that his mom abandoned him because he's quirkless. That's where he gets his true power. He's thinking trust is worthless and strength is absolute. And from that day forward, he stayed in the woods, hunting, fishing. Like, he goes along the riverside. He made tools. He made tools out of stone and iron later, to where he is fully out of touch with society. He's training, meditating, and I'd say when he's around 7 or so, and he has a pretty good collection of weapons like spears, axes out of like stone and like iron, or not really iron, but like a harder stone and stuff like that. When he's meditating, he comes across something inside of him, which he calls Ki, the life force in every living being. And from that day forth, he doesn't just train his body, he trains his Ki to the point where he could focus his Ki to where he can sense everyone's Ki, which is so low because of the quirks. Like, nobody has a powerful enough Ki to come close to his. He has always had a massive amount of Ki potential in him. As he keeps training, remembering what happened to him, trust is worthless and strength is absolute. In the few times he goes into the city or something, like when somebody would walk up to him and say, "Hey, where are your parents?" he just pushed them aside and say, "I don't need your help," as he just keeps looking for what he was doing. Now, when he's living in the woods, he hunts deer, rabbits, moose, like all kinds of random stuff that he can find. And he even built a house. If you guys watch Dr. Stone, he builds a house like that. So he's like, this is pretty cool. I already built a house, and he's 8 years old. He keeps training and training each and every single day. He trains, hunts, and hunts, and then he sleeps, and he just keeps repeating this process until I'd say he's 14. I'd say around the time he's 10, he stops going in into the city to steal and for food because he already has a ton of spears. Now, one day he was just roaming around the city or he was roaming around the forest line where the city meets the forest, and it's nighttime as a hero's just watching this very muscular kid who looks to be 20 even though he's like 15, just walking around the forest with a spear, like made out of stone or like iron, as he keeps following him until he sees this shack out of like wood, straw, and like concrete made out of stuff. As soon as he steps on a branch, there's a key ball right in his face. As Deku's like, "What do you want?" As they're like, "Whoa, don't you know using your quirk is illegal?" Well, Aizawa says this while trying to erase his quirk, and he's like, "Wait, why can't I erase your quirk?" Which Deku just obliviously responds like, "Shut up, I'm quirkless. It shouldn't matter to you. I've been living here for 10 years. Deku just like cracks his fingers. "So are you gonna fight me or are you just gonna stand there?" As Aizawa just like moves around and just like it's like looking at this massive house as he's like seeing buckets of like mushrooms, apples, vegetables, as he sees like farms and stuff, and he's like, who did this? And he's like, "I did." As I was just like, "Wait, you've been out here for 10 years? He's like, "Yeah, how can you go away?" Because Deku truly trusts nobody. He doesn't care. So Aizawa goes back to UA, and he sees Nezu, and he's like, "Nezu, come with me. I have something to show you." Nezu responds like, "Oh, this must be good if it caught your attention." As they walk into the forest to see Deku twirling a spear, like making a new spear. As Nezu's just in awe about this, and he's like, "Hey, kid, who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, my name's Izuku." They ask for his last name, and he's like, "I don't have one. Because the person who gave birth to me decided to abandon me. So I don't use that person's name anymore." As they're like trying to talk Deku into taking the UA entrance exam, and he's just like, "UA, huh? Feel like I remember that place. That's the place where the heroes go, right? Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm already powerful enough. I could beat All Might." As Deku just goes back to twirling his spear. As they're like, "What do you mean you could?" He's like, "I'm probably the strongest fighter in the universe, but hey, I don't care." Like, I'm trying to make Deku not as bad as, like, Jiren. Like, he's talking more than Jiren does, though. So, they end up making Deku come back to UA after, like, registering the location of, like, the house he lives in. Once they get there, Deku's just, like, looking around. Then he sees a computer, and he's like, "I remember these. I had one in my house." He just punches it. He's like, "Huh." Or, like, he doesn't really care. So, Nezu goes back, and he's like, "Okay, you will be enrolled into Class 1A of this new school year." He's like, "Ew, school. I'm already smart enough as it is." As Dicky just, like, starts walking away, and he's like, "Wait, but you need to learn math and English." And that Dicky's just like, "If I don't become a hero, I'll just go back to the woods. I've lived there for 10 years, I can do it again." Dicky walks away, and he just turns around and asks, what day is the first day?" Aizawa says it's It's whatever date you guys want. And then Deku is like, okay. Alright, I'll see you then, I guess. It's in 3 days, right? It's been hard keeping track. I only have the date of when my mom abandoned me. Then I have to add 365 or 364 times 10. You gotta add all of those. And then, yeah, I'm good at math, but I mean, not like adding that type of stuff. But, so the 3 days pass, and Deku is walking to UA, and everyone's just staring at him as he is in. If you guys do watch Dr. Stone, like Tsukasa's robe type of thing with like lion's fur, like, or the lion's mane. He has a lion's mane around his neck with basically his abs showing, and he's just walking in with like clothes made out of skin of like cows or lions, basically. Like everyone's staring at him like, why does that guy look like he's been living in the forest for 10 years? Deku turns around and says, 'cause I have. So once he gets into UA, he just keeps getting more people staring at him as he opens up the door and just goes and sits down. As everyone just looking at him like, what the heck is this kid? As Ito runs up to him and says, why are you not wearing the school uniform? That's very disrespectful of you. As Deku's like, will you shut up? I don't want to wear it. And two, I don't need to. Don't even have enough money to buy one because I don't even have money, basically. As Deku says this, everyone's like, huh, so this kid's poor. Is that why he's wearing like... And then Deku's like, I've been living in the woods for 10 years. Jeez. So he just goes back to being like quiet. Starts meditating. As Aizawa comes in to see like red flashes going around Deku and Ida trying to stop Deku from using his quirk. So Aizawa's like, it's no use, he's quirkless. He somehow has a power though. It says he can beat All Might, but I doubt that's true. So Deku just glares at Aizawa. He gets up and he's like, so are we testing our abilities? So I haven't done that in a while. As he like cracks his fingers, like, alright, let's do this. So they get down to the training area. Aizawa throws a ball to Izuku, and he's like, okay, since you think you're so strong, why don't you go first? Deku just throws it up in the air and just does one ki blast at it as it goes flying into space. As everyone's just shocked, like, what is this kid's power? And that's when something clicked in Katsuki or Bakugo's mind, and he's like, wait, Suku Midoriya, or Izuku, that's Deku. As he yells, hey Deku, what are you doing here, you quirkless crap, or something like that, as he turns around, just says, shut up, Bakugo, I don't need to deal with you right now. As Deku keeps doing each and every single one of the tests, getting first in every single one of them. The only person who could compare in one of the tests was Uraraka, who tied with him for infinity. So Deku is asked to stop as he's already done 1,000,000 push-ups and 1,000,000 sit-ups. He's just completely destroyed the grip machine. He can fly, which using the ki he can fly. And his speed is faster than Ida's, who has a speed quirk. Everyone's wondering how overpowered can this kid get. Deku just keeps walking as Uraraka is like, oh, hi, your name's Izuku, right? I heard that one kid call you Deku. Can I call you Deku? So Deku's just like, sure, I don't care. She's like, hey, do you want to be friends? And he's like, no, I don't need friends. So Deku just keeps walking away as Uraraka just looks at him as he walks into the forest. She's like wondering, I'm gonna follow him. which is what the entire girls of 1A do. They follow him to see his shack, his house, made out of wood and homemade concrete, and they see those spears, and they're like, that guy's made weapons? What could he do? So they're all thinking as Deku just appears right behind them, just like grabbing Ruka's neck as he pulls her closer, and he's like, what are you doing here? So they all turn around. They're like, oh, nothing, as they all just run away. So tomorrow is What If Deku Had Jiren's Powers Part 2. Hope you guys did enjoy this new What If. And you guys, bye.